The Curse of Strahd is a game played by adults and recorded for an adult audience. Sometimes we use adult language and explore adult topics. Consider yourself warned.
Hello, hello. YouTube, are you with me? Hi, Dave here, your humble dungeon master from the Superior Adventurers Guild. Hanging out with my friends, getting ready to dive back into Curse of Strahd tonight. And thanks for checking our videos out. Hopefully, if you haven't already, you'll subscribe. I think there's something down here or down here. I don't know where it is. You know where it is. Do the things, follow us, show us some support. Support these people right here. I'm going to show you who the real stars are. My good friends, the players, the people trying to survive this crazy, crazy game. Hey, guys.
Hey.
Hey. So let's do this. Andy, why don't you introduce yourself? Tell us a little bit about who you're playing tonight.
I was muted. Hey, everybody. My name is Andy. I'm playing Corben Brindel. He's an 8th level Oath of Vengeance Paladin. And yeah, I don't know. I don't know what else to say.
That's pretty good.
Thrilled to be here.
Oh, there you go.
Can't wait to get back into some Barovia.
It's hard to wait 2 weeks. The 2 week cycle is challenging, but I'm glad that we're all here. Shannon, why don't you go next?
I'm Shannon, and I play Mara Brightwood, 8th level Cleric. Yeah, she's cold. It's cold there.
That's true. That's very true. Ben.
Hi, I'm Ben. I play Bjorn Ironhide. He's a 7th level dwarf barbarian, and he's hungry for some action. So
Nice. He's always hungry for action.
Yep.
Let me ask you this, Ben. What? Tell me about that hat you're wearing.
This is 148th hat. So this is actually for one of the guard bases that's currently in Duluth, Minnesota. So we're pretty supportive of them.
Yep. And I know you're a vet, and you've been doing a lot of work to create a fun new project. Do you want to mention that here, or no? Do you want to keep it a secret?
Sure, that's fine. Yep.
I think our people who watch this channel would be interested to hear about it.
Yep. So we're actually creating a brewery with another disabled veteran. So we're creating a brewery to brew beer and help build morale up with different veterans. We're gonna have like different collaborations with different veteran nonprofits and all that. Then a lot of our proceeds is gonna go to give back those organizations to help support veterans. So we're pretty much a really small scale microbrewery that's completely veteran supported. So
veteran owned and operated, and
awesome.
Right here in Duluth, Minnesota, in the Lincoln Park Craft District, a place that we all hold dear to our hearts. It's really exciting, Ben. I'm looking forward to that. And that should be sometime at the end of April-ish, early May, something like that.
Yep. So
That's
should
exciting.
see our beer should be coming out in May.
Nice. I can't wait. That's awesome. Well, thanks for mentioning that. I think folks will be supportive and interested. And if you're in Duluth, you got to check out the Craft District in Lincoln Park. There's some other great breweries and other great businesses, and yeah, it's a good place. So let's get into it. I'd like to jump into a quick recap so we can get re-familiarized with what the heck happened last session. And I don't know, I can kind of hear myself. It's kind of like an echo. I don't know what that is, but we might need to check that out if it gets to be a little bit too loud. But anyhow, let's do the recap here. In our last session, this amazing party here that now also includes the Dusk Elf Casimir, who you recruited from the Vistani encampment, set out on a dangerous expedition south to the infamous Amber Temple, a place that you'd heard about on many occasions. You've definitely been warned about the dangers that potentially await you, although you haven't been given too many specifics about what those dangers are. But some of those challenges that you're going to face have been foretold through prophecies from Madam Eva and given to you through information from other people. The idea is that there is potentially some sort of power, some sort of advantage that you'll be able to gain by questing to the Amber Temple and ultimately, hopefully, help you escape from Barovia and defeat the master of the mists here, Strahd von Zarvich. So it's a treacherous journey into the Barovian Highlands. It's super cold, as Shannon mentioned, snow-covered landscapes with rocky outcrops, mountain ledges, other dangers that lie waiting for you. On your first night, you happen to cross an abandoned campsite that was set against a protected boulder pile and discovered a disembodied hand, the only remaining sign of the camp's previous visitor. Throughout the camp were large wolf-like tracks that Mara was able to detect, and so you definitely were on high alert. You had watches that you set up. During the first watch, Bjorn and Corben were up having conversation. Bjorn sort of staring off into the snowy, wind-swept landscape, and just at the edge of his visibility, which is not that good in this sort of situation, he could see what appeared to be the image of Sasha, a vampire that has apparently grown quite fond of Bjorn. She was at the edge of his visible range, calling his name. But when Corben looked out into the swirling snow, he couldn't see her. So questioning the dwarf, it became apparent that these visions or these visitations had been happening since the party had left Castle Ravenloft. Very interesting and coincidental, maybe. Mara and Casimir suggested that perhaps they were being scryed upon, and kind of went into a little bit of a alert situation. The conversation that Mara and Casimir had during their watch covered things like a little bit of Casimir's history, the idea of the Ladies' Three, which has been sort of introduced along throughout the adventures that we've had, the idea of Strahd's rise to power in Barovia, and luckily there were no additional visitors that made their presence known that night, and everybody in the party awoke well rested. And you continued the next day your ascent along a narrow snow-covered path, eventually arriving at Selenka Pass, which is a stronghold set in a narrow mountain path that bars the way towards the Amber Temple. You were able to make your way through the iron portcullis and a magical barrier and as you did so, you awoke frozen undead defenders who fought your advance. 4 undead archers raining down arrows upon you, while 2 frozen bleak-born corpses rose to greet you. It was a hell of a greeting party. Mara used her channel divinity to turn the undead, and Corben drew the sun sword. The bleak-born failed their saves against Mara's holy magic, but the damage that they took from Corben and Bjorn sort of caused that to be nullified, and the bleak-born continued their attack. Casimir cast a fireball at one of the Bleakborn as they continued to use this heat-draining aura to sap the party's strength, doing some pretty serious cold damage. But you guys stood your ground despite their tactical advantage. And Mara cast Spirit Guardians, which are these cute little ornery fox guardians that she has that are able to protect her and her companions, which was super clutch. With 1 Bleakborn remaining, the 4 of you flanked it, quickly put it down. Bjorn, it was kind of a cool, dramatic scene towards the end where Bjorn runs to the top of the tower and bum rushes the last remaining archer, diving into him, tackling him, and throwing him and Bjorn himself off of the 3-story stone tower. Of course, Bjorn, being a barbarian, was raging, so he's got resistance to quite a bit of damage. Actually, with your bear totem, I think you have like, are you invulnerable or something? I can't remember, but ultimately, what is it? It's like half damage for anything, right? Yeah. So at the end of the battle, you defeated the guards, found yourselves seeking refuge in the lower floor of the tower. And that's where we'll start. You have just finished the battle. You finally were able to put down that last skeleton who had 1 hit point after he fell off the tower, and then everybody was missing him. But finally, I think Corben, you cut him down with the sun sword and put an end to him. And you are now inside the. Let's go to the map. Actually, you guys are inside the tower at this point. And let's see. There we go. We'll get you guys over to the tower. hopefully we have Roll20 playing along and you guys can see what's going on here. So there you go. You're inside the tower. What would you guys like to do?
Whoa. I could use a rest. Just looking at my hit points here. How are you guys doing? I think you're muted.
Oh,
yeah, I'm not doing too bad.
Yeah, I'm not doing well. I want to cast Healing Word on myself, and can do so for you too, Corben, if you like.
Yeah, I mean, I'm down like a little over half.
Yeah,
Strength.
I'm down to 10, so
And I've already used, yeah. Sorry.
I'm cold and hurting, so I'm gonna go ahead and cast Healing Word on myself here.
Okay, go right ahead and do that. You also look over at Casimir, and he looks to be also very injured. He's trying his best to wrap some bandages, just some rags essentially around some of the wounds that he has on his arms from the sharp, jagged claws of these creatures that were on the ground fighting you. He doesn't look so good.
Yeah, I mean, I know there's with that thing that was on the door, that seal or whatever, there was some concern about what would happen once we dispelled that. But at the same time, I could really use a long rest. So I don't know what you guys think.
Yeah, I could use a long rest as well. There's a spell I'd like to prepare as well. Switch a few things up here a little bit.
And we're in like an enclosed space that we can make somewhat secure.
Yeah, and we can somebody can go up top and for watches and that.
Yeah, we could keep watch from up top.
We could do the double watch, one at the downstairs, one at the upstairs, and then same deal, and then switch up halfway through the night if that sounds good to you guys.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
You watch as Casimir walks over to what appears to be a hearth or a fireplace on that eastern wall, and he's poking around. We've got just a bit of wood, but I don't know if it will get us through the night.
Is this door still operational?
No, Bjorn.
Kicked in, right?
Yeah, Bjorn kicked it down. So there's some wood there that you could potentially burn or, use it for some other purpose if you could come up with something. But there is some wood there.
Is it in shards or is it still in mostly door form that we could lean it up against for some windbreak?
Roll a d4.
4.
It is in 4 pieces.
Lengthwise or horizontal wise?
Just kind of all, just 4, uneven pieces, essentially.
So guys, if we're going to be sleeping on the floor, maybe we could take the largest piece and kind of lean it up against for a little windbreak and then use the rest for the fire. What do you think?
That sounds good to me. Is there anything else around that I might be able to use to block up the door? I guess there's probably not just random.
There's not much in here.
She's the bodies.
There are bodies. There are 6 undead, skeletonized bodies with varying degrees of connective tissue and flesh on them. But yes, there are 6 bodies out in the wind and snow outside.
Bjorn points over to him. There's your windbreakers right there, Mara.
Yeah, I think I'd rather have you guys for my campmates than that. But if you think it's gonna block the wind, otherwise, while I'm at watch, I'd be happy to put my bedroll up in front of the door a little bit, but I'm gonna take it down when it's time for me to sleep.
I think if anything, it might help just create some kind of barrier to entry, so something can't just simply walk right in.
I
Maybe we
agree.
should-
Let's move the bodies in front of the
I'm gonna
door.
start stacking some of these.
Yeah, Casimir
Yeah.
will help you.
Okay.
You can stack a few like right in front of the door to give at least some level of, you know, a barrier.
Right.
So do we have enough wood for burning the night, or is there?
Yeah, we might as well
If we burn it slow.
maybe use some of the remnants of this door.
Yeah, I was thinking part of the stairs, or like maybe the railing or something, maybe too, if we were cutting it close.
Yeah, was there an upstairs to this?
There's 3 levels. It's 3 stories tall. So we'll say you guys do a pretty thorough search of it. The upper level of the guard tower is an ice box with windows set in almost every wall. Rusted iron ladder bolted to the ceiling, and floor leads up to a wooden trap door above you. Mounted above the stone hearth is a dire wolf's head. The wind comes howling down the chimney. There's really not much in terms of any sort of wooden furniture. You might be able to gather a few like almost charcoal sticks from the second hearth.
I say, yeah, we go with the remnants of the door and then move on to the. Does this stairway have a wooden banister
Well,
on
let's
it, or is
see.
it like metal? I don't know if it says.
It yeah, it's iron. It's an iron like handrail.
Okay. So I guess
Um,
we just get what we can from this from the door. Sleep
Is
near it or next to it. I don't know.
is there any brush underneath the snow along the path on the mountainside?
If you wanted to go out and search, you certainly could.
I'm gonna do that. Hey guys, can you have my back just for a minute? I'm gonna just kind of run across here and see if there's anything along the pathway here.
Outside the gate or on this side of the gate?
On this side of the gate, I'm just gonna
Okay.
walk across. Let's see if I can
Would
kind
it?
of ping this area. So just like straight across from the door. I'm not gonna go too far.
Okay.
Just along the path here on the mountainside.
Sure.
We left the horse and the carriage behind, right?
Yep.
Do we want to go back and get it? Or is it dark out already, Dave?
It is late afternoon, so it's you know, it's always dark, plus it's snowing and the wind is howling. It's extremely cold outside. It's probably been since you left the horses, I would say less than an hour since you left the horses, had the battle, and have found yourself kind of searching through this place to you know, gather whatever you can. So yeah, it's been about an hour since you've been with the horses. Or the
Yeah,
horse. Sorry, there's just one
I
horse.
definitely want to go back and bring them up.
Yeah, I think it would be a good idea. I mean, they're gonna die if we leave them out there.
Yep.
Something's gonna come by and eat them, or
Is the doorway big enough where we could bring the horses into the tower if we
yeah, I
dismount
mean
them
that's
from
like
the
a
wagon?
10-foot wide road, right?
Yeah. What was the question? Sorry. Could you get the wagon in?
Getting the horses in. I mean, could we get the wagon inside the tower
Yep.
too?
Yeah. The horse and wagon would fit through the gate.
All
It'd
right.
be more, but inside the tower where we're staying, can we get the horse through the doorway?
Ooh, you could try.
Because that'd be just a little more heat in this room too. So do you two want to go get the cart, and Casimir and I'll stick around? I'll do a healing word on him to help us sort of
Sure.
hopefully last. Because I don't think anybody should go alone. That's my point.
Definitely not. No, it's bad enough that we're splitting up.
Yeah.
But yeah, nobody should go alone.
Well, I'm fine with going. I got a decent amount of health left, so
Okay.
that way if something runs up on us.
Yeah,
And
I'm just gonna.
your hit points that are on your tokens are correct. Is that right?
Yeah,
I've
hold on
been
a second.
updating them.
as long as
Okay.
I was correct at the end of my last session.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, that's just what it was when I opened.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Mine is not quite right. I'm gonna make a quick
Okay.
change here.
All right, so Corben and Bjorn, as you bundle up and move towards the portcullis, you get within about 10 feet of the portcullis. The green protective energy field is gone. That was dispelled. But the portcullis is closed. As you get within about 10 feet, it just starts to open automatically as you step forward. You just hear the scratching of iron on iron and rusted hinges and whatever, mechanisms are pulling it up is very strained. And you kind of look up at it, questioning its stability, and you kind of hustle your way through the entrance, the gate, and you're gonna head out to the horse and carriage. What's your movement like? Are you moving fast? Are you stealthing? Are you moving at normal speed? How are you? Is there anything in particular?
I would just be normally walking. I don't think I'm really expecting anything to roll up on us, and I mean,
normal speed.
Okay.
Yeah.
But keeping an eye out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead and both of you roll perception with disadvantage because of the howling wind. Makes perception difficult, and also the visibility is bad as well as the auditory. Mara, you head across to the cliffside, right across the road from the door to the turret to the tower. Is that correct? And Casimir will stay near the doorway. He'll be outside, sort of watching, keeping an eye on things.
Yeah, I'd like to yell something to these guys as they're leaving and just say, grab wood on your way back. And I'd also like to do a healing touch on Casimir because he's looking pretty rough.
Yeah, he is. How much does he get for that?
I will get D4 plus. Hold on a second here.
Corben and Marzen, you make your way to the horses. Or I don't know why I keep saying horses. There's one horse.
Yeah, there's
You
one horse, right?
make your way to the horse. For some reason, I'm hung up on multiple horses. But no, you make your way out there. Corben, roll a D100 for me.
Okay. $14.
Okay. You get there and you can see the horse just kind of standing there, like swaying back and forth. Snow is coming down. It's shivering. It's kind of shaking and shivering and stomping its feet and snorting. And you can look at it. Roll an animal handling check if either of you are interested.
How are you at that, Bjorn? Oh, he's still at disadvantage on, but
Yeah, pretty terrible.
Yeah. You just get the sense, Bjorn, that the horse doesn't look good. But it's still there, and it's still attached to the cart. And that's what you know.
All right, let's try to get him back as soon as possible. We shouldn't linger out here.
I agree.
Get him moving. Hopefully get him warmed up a little.
Bjorn, roll a wisdom saving throw for me.
Doesn't sound good.
Oh, wowzer.
Honey.
That'll
Very
be
nice.
a natural 20.
Oh, wow. Okay, perfect. Well, it is perfect, actually. I can say that with full honesty. All right, so you guys get the horse and you start to lead it back to the gate. Mara, you go across. Tell me a little bit about what you're doing on the bank of this cliff.
I'm just sort of kind of scanning and where if they're looking to see if there's any kind of branches or bushes that have any type of kindling value that are sort of, I know that snow is kind of on top of stuff. So if something looks like it might, I kind of brush it aside a little bit. I'm not I'm not doing a super intense look because I know that I should be inside. I'm not well, and I'm just trying to kind of add to whatever pile of wood we're able to scrounge up.
Okay.
Before I walked over there, though, I did do a healing touch on Casimir, and he's got 8 more points. So
Hey, all right. He'll take it.
so I'm just kind of, and while he's kind of keeping an eye on it, and I kind of looking over my shoulders just to make sure that I'm not caught unawares.
Okay. Roll a perception check with disadvantage.
Nice.
Okay. And then roll an investigation check.
Also with disadvantage.
No, just a straight investigation check, please. Okay. Yes, you brush snow out of the way. You can see sort of the billowing shape of the snow that sort of leads you to believe that there's some sort of something underneath it, and you start to brush it away, and you do find some pretty scraggly, like almost like sage-like plants that are growing sort of in between the bouldery rocks. That's the scree that has slid down this really steep embankment. And you look up and you lose the cliff in the fog and the snow. It's so steep and tall, you can't see anything above you. But you do find enough to give you some, to make you feel like it was worth it. It's not a ton of kindling or a ton of fuel for this fire, but it's gonna help for sure. And right about that same time, the Corben and Bjorn are coming through the gate. The portcullis raises up again on its own as if some sort of a motion detector is attached to it, and they come through with the horse, which is it looks anxious. It's kind of like almost trying to run, and they're trying to kind of hold it back a little bit as it's getting closer to the guardhouse.
So, hey, Casimir, now this is kind of what I expected, but at least we got some little bit of kindling here to throw on when we need to. So kind of shake off whatever snow's left on it and put it in a pile that we're accumulating next to the fireplace.
Okay.
And it looks like the guys are coming in too.
Very good. At this point, he's got the fire going. It's a very small fire. He's keeping it intentionally small and burning just a little bit of fuel at a time. And it's taking a lot of attention to do that without burning a lot of fuel. He's basically sitting there just feeding one stick at a time. And you guys get the horse. You're going to bring the horse inside. So you detach it from the wagon and you move the bodies to the side. Whoever's trying to bring the horse in, roll an animal handling check for me if you're involved with that.
All right. I'll do that. 8.
Okay. Is anyone helping him?
Hey, Corben, you all give me a hand here?
It takes it at first. The horse is very reluctant, perhaps spooked by the bodies, perhaps just in a state of maybe hypothermia and disorientation. It takes you a moment to calm it down. Corben, you kind of reach up and you run your hand on the horse's forehead and you kind of say a few things to it. It starts to relax and calm a little bit, and then you're able to guide it inside the ground floor of the tower, and you get them in there.
Hey guys, did you pick up any wood on the way?
We didn't. I have some torches. I could probably sacrifice a couple torches. I don't know. Like we could
I got some too.
I do too. I guess I can't. I totally forgot about them. Let's see what I've got. Yeah, I can definitely spare a couple.
We will need torches at the Ember Temple. Don't burn them all. Although
I've got
won't make
10.
it to the Ember Temple if we freeze in the night.
I've
Yeah.
got 10. I can throw 2 into the pile here, I think.
Yeah,
I think I can sacrifice those.
I have the
You
same
guys
amount.
You could use up mine. I don't need a torch to see in the dark.
Yeah, I can see in the dark, but we should definitely have some for later, which we will. So
Okay, so between the little bit of wood that you scrounged from the interior, the kindling that Mara was able to scrounge from the cliffside, and then a couple of torches, we'll say that
And the door.
and the door, yep, the door debris. You we'll say that a total of 3 torches get used in this endeavor to keep you alive throughout the night, so you guys can figure out how you're going to mark those off.
should we just each put in one, or do we
Okay.
we all have them?
Yeah,
Yeah.
everybody has
Okay,
them.
yeah. Why don't we just each put in one then?
Okay.
So you have some torches lit at various locations that give off heat. Maybe you actually feed them right into the chimney. It's kind of up to you guys how you do that. It doesn't really matter. Bottom line, you're able to generate enough warmth with 4 people and a horse and torches and kindling to make it through the night. Now, do you plan to do anything that evening? So it's still, it's probably late afternoon, early evening at this point. So it's not quite nighttime. That doesn't really necessarily matter. You guys are exhausted from a battle and injured and in need of rest. So you can kind of do whatever you want. I just wanted to make you aware of sort of the time of where we're at right now. If you guys want to do a long rest and just move on to the next day, we can do that. Or if there's other things that you want to try to have conversations about or accomplish, feel free to do that as well. Just let me know.
Well, I do want to prepare a new 3rd level or a different 3rd level spell. So I'm gonna remove daylight and add back magic circle. I'm feeling I might need that.
Okay, so you're gonna do a bit of studying of your spells and praying to the Morning Lord to provide some divine guidance as you prepare your spell list for the next day.
And Bjorn, so how are you feeling right now? I mean, I could, before I really hunker down and rest, I could probably, I think I've got a remove curse. I could maybe.
I'm feeling pretty good.
If you think you're seeing things, I guess that's what I'm wondering.
Yeah, I don't think I'm cursed. I think I'm doing just fine. I don't know. Do I look cursed?
You don't, but you don't always look cursed. I mean, I guess depends on how unfortunate you look.
You don't look cursed, but you don't look not cursed.
Damn it, Mara! What is a dwarf supposed to look like?
I don't know. I'm just messing with you. But if you think you're seeing things, I'm just wondering if it might be helpful to do a remove curse on you or a dispel magic to see if that maybe takes some of these visions away for you. Although I don't know, I kind of think you like them.
Sure. I mean, if you want to, when it hurts, we're about to get some sleep, so I don't want to just strain all your magic away.
Casimir says, I will. Let me make sure he's got spells left. I don't remember how many slots he has, but he says, I could also try, as I did the other night, to detect to see if we're being watched at all, perhaps.
Maybe that's wise to start that first or try that first and then could maybe go from there.
Okay. So he goes through the process. Someone else takes over feeding the fuel into the fire, and he sits down, takes about 10 minutes or so to go through a ritual casting of detect magic. And as he does that, as he finishes his ritual, anybody that's watching can see sort of his eyes flash with a blue energy, and he just sort of looks around the room and he says, I don't see anything for the moment, but I will keep an eye out. This particular spell will last for about 10 minutes.
Okay, well, let's give it 10 minutes before I do anything, and we'll see what happens. Corben, you got any ideas?
For what? I'm sorry.
I just was wondering if I don't know if this is a waste of my time and energy or not, but I guess I have concerns about what Bjorn's been seeing.
Well, did out of character, Dave, would Bjorn have felt anything when that happened out past the gate? I could just ask him. I'll just be like, Bjorn, have you?
Yeah, no, you didn't know. You wouldn't have noticed anything other than what you were going through to fight the wind and snow to get to the cart.
Yeah, Bjorn,
Same
have
with
you?
me, right? The wisdom check didn't really.
Yep,
Did I get
you didn't notice anything.
spider senses?
No.
Tingling?
But you can
Bjorn,
still
you
ask
haven't-
him.
I'll just say it, Bjorn, you haven't heard anybody whispering your name again, have you?
Not since we've left the camp. No, I think she might have lost us since we've left, but I wouldn't be surprised if she's still out here. I'm pretty sure we're being followed.
Well, we'll hear that gate open if someone comes up the trail, hopefully.
Yeah.
So as we're waiting throughout the night, we should definitely keep an ear out for that.
Yeah, and we'll be,
Peek out it.
we'll team up on watches so nobody's alone out there. I think that's the best we can hope for tonight. I don't know.
Yeah.
I was just looking over some of my spells.
So, who here has a bow and arrows? Anybody?
I have Stanley's bow, but I don't have any arrows.
Okay, I'm just trying to figure out the best, who should be up above and who should be down below and who should pair up and all of that.
Some of those skeletons were shooting arrows at us, weren't they?
They were.
Mhm.
Could I go search the bodies for some arrows?
Yep, you're gonna go up to the top level. So you're gonna climb up that ladder, go through the trap door, and go examine the bodies.
Yeah, just see from where they were shooting, if they were like pulling them out from up there or.
Sure. Yeah. You go up there and you find 3 short bows that are in working condition. There's a 4th, but the string is broken. And you find a total of 9 usable arrows. So you have a short bow and 9 arrows.
I'm going to gather up the
3
arrows.
short bows, yeah. Okay, so you're going to take the arrows and not the bows. You already have a bow, you said. You have Stan's
Yeah, I
old
already
bow.
have Stan's bow. Yeah, the long bow, I believe it is.
Okay. All right, cool.
Well, I'll leave some arrows out, I guess. I'll leave some. I'll take 4 of the arrows and leave 5 up by the bows so that there's some up there for whoever's on watch. In case they want to try to use them.
Casimir, what is your eyesight like in the dark?
Typically very good, but this weather makes it difficult. But yes, typically my dark vision comes in very handy. I can see, shapes in sort of a grayish tone. It's not as good as vision in the daylight, but it's certainly helpful at night.
So maybe if you and I pair up, you could be up on the tower since you have better night vision than I. You'd be able to see further and be able to throw magic from up there if you need to. And then I'll be down below keeping an eye out. I have thaumaturgy, so I can, if I see something or if you see something, you can drop something on my head so I know or yell down. and then I can use my big voice to let them know inside that there's a problem.
I can do that. However, I'm a little nervous to be that exposed to the elements. It's very windy and cold up there.
Would you prefer to be down below?
I think if anybody is up top, we need to consider exposure as a risk. Whoever that.
Well,
might be.
I have my shield and I've got winter clothing. And I think if I go first, I can, kind of make it through till the time it is for me to rest and sleep. Now that we've had a fire going for a little bit here, and I've been laying my hands like on the horse. Like I've been kind of rubbing my hands on the horse because the side of the horse is warm.
Yeah.
So.
Yes. We should split that up though. Either one of us being up there for the full watch would be a challenge. So, and we should take a torch with us as well.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
if you were to light an additional torch, you could take it up there for your watch, and it would burn for the two of you to switch off, and you'd be able to do it that way and still have some level of warmth. But
I've got one.
It's super windy up there on the, you're on the top floor of a 3-story tower on the side of a hill where there's like a gale force winds and a blizzard brewing. So, but yeah, it's doable if you have a source of warmth. Cool. So you and Casimir are going to take the first watch?
Yeah.
Okay. Does anybody else want to accomplish anything before the long rest begins?
Nope, I'm good.
No, I don't think so. I think I'm good.
Okay. Let's get some perception rolls at disadvantage from Casimir and Mara. Ooh. Oops, I rolled twice.
Oh.
Ooh, bad rolls. 6 and a 6. All right. And then Mara, go ahead and roll a d20 for me. Okay. It's very difficult to hear anything. You get the sense almost when you're up on top of the tower that it's worthless to even try to. It gets difficult to even see the gate. You feel confident that you would hear the gate opening if it were to open based on the times that you've heard it open already. It's very distinct and loud, but the wind is just so loud and it's disorienting when you're up there, and the visibility is super bad. So you don't get the sense that you're on watch, and if someone tried to walk through the front door, you'd know, but being able to predict that or see it coming would be really difficult. So you feel a little uneasy the whole time that you're on watch, but you don't hear anything that alerts you, and you don't see anything that alerts you, which that in of itself is a little eerie based on where you are and what you've done and where you're headed. But nothing interrupts your watch.
Okay.
And Casimir comes down from the top level and he gets up by the fire and he's warming his hands on the flames, the little flame that you've kept going through the night. And he says, "Is it time to trade watches?"
Yeah, lean up against the horse. It helps.
Yeah. And he pulls his cloak tight and he props himself up against the horse and just sort of, he doesn't really sleep. He sort of meditates. And so he just kind of powers down into a meditative state while you wake the boys.
And while we're kind of making all the switcheroos, I've taken my outer cloak, one of my outer cloaks, and I've laid it over the horse to warm up the inside of it. So at least I'm going up warm-ish.
Mm-hmm.
And hey
Makes
guys.
sense.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, I shouldn't wake them up yet because are we midway through our watch, Dave?
No, you're done. Your watch is done. So now it's
okay.
You're
Okay.
transitioning. Yep.
Okay. Hey guys, time to go.
Okay.
All right, I'll get up with Corben.
Yep, we get up.
All right. What's
Um,
what's your strategy? About the same.
Stay
Yeah.
next to the fire.
Do you want to try to keep watch from the top?
It's a blizzard out there. I don't think we're gonna see much.
Right. How probably can't see much from the windows, huh?
Not really. I mean, you can certainly like poke your head out the windows. You can poke your head out the door, but yeah, the visibility is terrible, and just the sound of the wind howling. Yeah, you don't get the sense that you'd be able to see it. You know,
I'm fine with
visibility is like maybe 15 feet.
I'm fine with sticking down here, and if we hear something, we could take.
Yeah, we'll
poke our
keep watch by
head
the
out
door.
The
Yeah.
door, yeah.
Okay. Let's go
But
ahead and get a couple of rolls for perception at disadvantage.
Nine.
Oh,
Oh
It's-
God.
it's tough. A lot of sixes.
Yeah.
So a 9 and a 6. Yeah, it's not easy. Again, very difficult to hear, very difficult to see. You get a sense that any frontal attack would easily sneak up on you in this situation. But you do your best. Bjorn, roll a d20 for me. Okay. Very similar to the first watch. You feel uneasy about things, but you do what you can. You stay warm. You survive through the night. It's uncomfortable. It is miserable, but you make it through a full rest. So you guys all gain the benefits of a full rest, including our Dusk Elf friend Casimir gains back his spell slots. And hit points. All right. Now, an 8-hour rest puts you probably at 5 in the morning. I would say, it's very early in the morning. Maybe even a little bit earlier than that, possibly. But you guys are at full hit points.
How's the horse doing? I'm gonna go.
The horse looks a lot better. The horse is right there inside with you. The horse is still sleeping. It's curled up as tight as it can. It's on the ground with its legs tucked up underneath it, and it's snoring louder than Bjorn.
All right, we'll let him sleep a little longer.
We don't have far to go now. Across the Luna River Gorge and towards the stronghold.
Is that just up the road here? How far is the
No,
gorge?
it's going to be the gorge is just beyond the that western gate. Is it the western gate? Sorry, the western arch. And then it's going to be a full day travel to the Amber Temple, and it's, by the looks of things outside, it's going to be slow going and difficult. And the wind is howling still. There's more snow falling. You can see that there's probably 6 to 8 inches of fresh snow on the ground, which is going to mean that the cart travel is going to be pretty difficult as well.
Okay.
Do we need the cart, guys?
Well, yeah, I was gonna say maybe we could see if we can get, how far we can get with it.
Okay.
But maybe, we're not really, we were using it to transport ourselves, right?
And our gear too, to
Yeah.
kind of help us travel a little bit better.
I say take it, and if it gets too, I could try to push it, or we could determine then if we need to drop it off to lighten the load.
Yeah, I guess if it, if it gets too hard to move around with it, we could just take the horse off of it and have the horse, carry some gear.
Okay.
But
Very
yeah,
well.
we should make ready.
Everybody starts to pack up. Casimir starts to gather his things as he feeds the last of the little bit of kindling that's left over into the fire. He pulls on some dried meat that he's eating to try to get some sustenance, and takes a drink of his water, which is icy cold, even maybe a little bit of ice inside the skin. It'll be good to get off this mountain.
Yeah. Okay. So guys, let's take a lesson from last night. And if we see, branches, sticks, good wood for fire, throw it in the cart so we have it.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
I don't want to be in a situation where we have nothing at all, because last night was pretty brutal. If the horse hadn't been in there, I would have been in really bad shape.
What about this tree that's up there? Are we able to see this at all, Dave? Up ahead?
Not yet.
All right, never mind then. All right, are you guys ready to take off?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Yeah, I've had a bite to eat. I'm ready to go.
Okay. So with all of your gear packed up, stowed back into the cart, other than the things that you're carrying on you, of course, and Bjorn, you're driving the cart, I imagine, still? You're kind of the cart guy?
Yep.
Okay. Roll an animal handling check for me. And who hasn't rolled a D20 yet? Corben, why don't you roll for us? D20,
Right.
just straight roll.
20 then, not natural.
Okay, nice.
Oh no, that was a natural 20. Animal.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
sure was. You get the horse attached back up to the cart, and you give it, you kind of brush it a little bit, and you give it a little bit of encouragement, and you can see that the horse is in much better shape, and it kind of nuzzles you a little bit to give you back a little bit of affection as you're kind of getting it ready to go. And it definitely complies and is definitely ready to move. You get the sense that it wants to get going too. So which is a good sign, especially based on its behavior yesterday, where it didn't look like it was doing very well. So you feel pretty optimistic about that.
Looking good. Does this horse have a name? I'll kind of speak out to you.
Casimir just kind of looks at you. Didn't think to ask.
What do you guys think? Do we name it?
Sure. If you're feeling kind of warm towards it and you need to give it a name, Bjorn, knock yourself out.
Call him Blizzard.
Blizzard.
He's lived this night. I don't want to get too attached to him because I feel like a wolf's gonna eat him or something. But
Yeah.
he made it through, so.
Well, you might have to eat them too if you run out of food. Who knows?
Right.
Yeah. Mara was thinking that exact same thing, but she didn't say it out loud.
Blizzard's a good name, though.
Yeah.
It's a
That's a good one.
It's a good
McDonald Blizzard. That's that way if we eat them, it's not too bad.
name. Old McDonald Blizzard. I like it. Let's make haste. And you set out, heading east along the road. Again, covered in snow. You make your way towards what appears to be, as you get closer, you can see to the north on the left side of the path, which is really, it's easy to follow here because you've essentially got a cliff coming down, a flat area with the path, and then a cliff dropping off the other side. So it's relatively easy to follow at this point. And as you get 100, 200 feet away from the guard tower, you start to see a small grouping of trees on the north side of the road. You also see what appears to be a stone arch. The snowy pass comes to a gorge spanned by a stone bridge, At each end of this bridge, well, you can't see the other end at this point, but you see the end that's closest to you. There is a 30-foot tall, 30-foot wide stone arch. Atop the arch are 2 statues of armored knights on horseback with lances charging towards one another. The wind bites and howls like wolves as it passes through the gorge. And that is up here. Let's see. Up in this neck of the woods.
So that's where we are located right now?
Yep, up where Corben is standing. And Casimir. And then the stone arch is right here.
What do you guys think about taking a quick break and I could chuck some of these bigger limbs off of some trees to gain some firewood?
Might be a good idea.
Yeah. Let's make it quick though. The wind's pretty biting here.
Yeah, I could help. I have
Okay.
an axe.
Yeah. Roll a survival check with advantage, Bjorn. As Corben is helping you. I imagine you have an axe, right? That's your weapon of choice?
Yeah, I have a battle axe, but I have that great sword still too. So
Oh yeah, that's right.
I'll probably take that 2-handed battle axe and be lobbing it.
I have a great axe.
Okay, yeah. So between the two of you, you're able to lop off a couple of the sort of like dead branches towards the bottom of these trees. These are pine trees. And so there's a bunch of dead branches at the bottom of the tree that you can hack off pretty easily and gather a pretty good bundle of wood that you toss into the cart. Yep, that's easy enough to do.
Cool. I think this is a good amount. Let's keep moving.
Yeah, let's keep moving.
All right, so you guys get up to about here, and you can see these at the top of this structure. Let's see. Let me do this. I don't know why they put so many of these. There you go.
Yeah.
Now you can hopefully see.
Yeah, I was gonna say I can't see them because of the lighting.
Yep. So there's two riders knights on horseback that are. It looks kind of like they're jousting, and then you've got this long bridge. It's about 80 feet from end to end, and the wind is howling.
Oh man, that looks iffy, but well, we gotta go. We gotta go. How do we want to attack this?
Yeah, how does the bridge look structurally? Like, does it like sound like? We get
how close do you want to get to look at it, first of all, and then I'll tell you a little bit more about that.
Okay, well, maybe first things first. What's up with this arch? Is there any kind of like? There's no green glowing flame in front of it.
Move. There's no green glowing flame. Roll a perception check.
Okay. Oh, I still had disadvantage on 13.
Okay, so 13. You walk up to it and you can see that there are 2 guard posts. Let me move this out of the way. They are empty. There is a kind of like a little cul-de-sac on each side, a little almost like a small room that guards would stand in. There doesn't appear to be anything in them. And yeah, that's what you see about the arch.
Okay.
You get the sense that the guards would probably spend a lot of time in there given the howling winds that are rolling through this gorge.
Right. What do you think, you guys? Are you or I'm going to ask can't remember his name now.
Casimir?
Casimir.
How was this bridge the last time you crossed it?
It's, as Mara said, iffy at best. But I've crossed it many times. The hellhounds are upon us. Run! Just kidding. He moves forward and takes a look into the guard tower, and he just kind of scans it. This is the way we have to go.
If you guys are nervous,
unless
I
you can
cross
fly.
first.
Well, I think I'm more nervous about the horse and the cart.
Well, my big head could go through. What if we just take it over one at a time?
Yeah.
I'll walk across first, then we could see how stable it is. And if it starts throwing loose, we could unload the cart and lighten the load and everything.
I forgot that I have all kinds of music that I should have on here. Hold on, we got to get some icy wasteland.
Yeah, we definitely shouldn't go across all at one
There we
time.
go.
Hey,
Frozen waves.
Bjorn, why don't you grab this end of this rope? So if stuff starts to crumble, we can pull you back up.
That's fine with that. So I'll grab the rope and start walking across and just kind of investigating the bridge.
Okay. Yeah, you step out onto the bridge. You get to about, I don't know, here or so, about 15 feet away from Corben. You look at the bridge. Go ahead and roll a perception check. With disadvantage, sorry. Go ahead and roll again.
I was going to say, I was like, well, it can't be that worse.
Can't be worse
Yeah,
than an 8.
I was about to
Nope,
say the
it
same
was.
thing. Like, don't worry about it. It's not like you're going to do worse than an 8.
Yeah.
Okay, so a couple things. You look at the bridge, and it's difficult to see the other side because of the wind and the snow that's swirling. You can definitely see, even though that there's about 6 to 8 inches of snow that's fallen on the bridge platform, you can see that it is broken in certain locations, like right here specifically. You can see that the railing is gone. That gives you a little bit of anxiety. Some of the low walls have fallen away. The bridge, however, appears, at least where you are right now, to be intact. You definitely hear the howling of the wind, and you can hear the rumbling of the Raven River, which you cannot see deep down into this gorge. It kind of echoes off the canyon walls. You look across to get a better view of the other side, which is really hard to make out. You get the sense that you can make things out, but you also see about midway across the bridge, you see a black cloaked rider on a charcoal colored horse standing in the middle of the bridge.
Does he see us? Is he approaching us or anything?
It's hard for you to tell. It doesn't appear with that perception roll. It doesn't appear that he has seen you. You don't know, but he's not moving. He's just standing there.
Give me a second. Dogs are going nuts. Do they see it too?
Corben, whoever is at the other side of the bridge, go ahead and make a perception roll if you want to.
Yeah.
Just try to see if you're actively looking. Otherwise, I would say probably not. With their passive perceptions, they are not seeing this. And it would be with disadvantage.
0.
0. Corben definitely doesn't see it. Oh, 2 natural ones. Yeah.
We don't see anything.
No, you guys,
Nothing.
you're so focused on holding on to the rope. You know, Bjorn is kind of edging his way out there. You don't see it, but Bjorn, you do.
We got our heads down, keep the snow out of our eyes.
Right, exactly. What do you do, Bjorn?
I am gonna approach it. Do you think we could take a quick break so I can put these guys up?
Sure. Yeah, let's go ahead. Let's
Better
take a
not
quick
stop it.
break and we'll come back. Let's do, is 5 minutes enough?
Yeah, that's fine.
All
Sorry
right,
about
let's do that. That's okay.
That's right.
Yep, we'll do that. All right, we'll be back. All right, we are back on the Raven River Bridge, and Bjorn has stepped out on the bridge. He's got a rope tied around him, or he's holding on to the end of the rope. I don't know which, but the other end is being held by Corben. And you're sort of inching your way out, inspecting the bridge, and you happen to look up and you see this black cloaked rider on a charcoal colored horse standing in the middle of the bridge. What would you like to do?
I'm gonna call out to him, and say, "Hello," and just see if they respond.
All right. How loud are you shouting?
Loud enough so my companions should be able to hear that I'm speaking to someone.
Okay. So Corben, you and Mara and Casimir all hear very suddenly, unexpectedly, you hear him say, "Hello." And Bjorn, you watch out for a response from this mounted individual, and you don't see one.
I'm gonna turn back and kind of try to turn so I can still see it, and kind of look towards my friends and see if, like, just go like, I don't know, what do you guys want me to do? So I'll look back to them and I'll see if, just do this to you guys. Like, what do you
So you watch Bjorn shrug, but you're not sure. You can't see that far through the snow and the wind, but you can see your friend.
Is it Bjorn? What's going on?
There's something in the pass on the bridge.
A person? Is that who you were yelling to?
Yeah, there's someone on a horse. He's not responding to us. Is he responding at all to us talking to each other? Is he budging or anything?
Roll a perception check.
What is with our perception?
I'm not even going to ask you for the other part of it, which was disadvantaged, because that's a natural one. You can't get any lower than that. Yeah,
That's
no.
three natural ones on perception so far.
I know it's not. That's not good. Yeah, you can't tell. He continues to stand in the center of the bridge, staring you down atop his steed.
Casimir.
I'm gonna start walking.
What is it?
Forward.
I'm gonna go. I want to go out here, and
okay.
But before I do, I'm gonna cast Spirit Guardians around me, so that I can hopefully get him in that radius.
Okay. Him being Bjorn.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's a 15-foot radius, so you'd have to get a little bit closer. You're about 20 feet from him right now. But yeah, you can step out as far as you'd like to. Go ahead and move your token. There you go. And Casimir will follow you. He'll move out as well to get a better look. What is it? Casimir is going to go ahead and roll everybody roll a perception check with disadvantage if they want to try to, discern what's going on up ahead. Oh, 10 for Casimir. Corben, 3.
This is unreal.
Mara,
right.
12. Mara with the big 12. Mara, you look out there, and Corben and Casimir are having a hard time making out what it is, especially Corben, but you're also behind everybody, Corben, so it's hard to see. But Mara, you definitely see a mounted individual atop a very dark and ominous looking horse.
Do I recognize who's on the horse?
At this distance, you do not.
I'm gonna slowly start approaching him. I'm just gonna walk up.
Okay. How far? Okay. Go ahead and move your token.
See if there's any movement.
I'm gonna stay relatively close to Bjorn.
Okay.
Because I want those spirit guardians floating around here.
Absolutely. Casimir will also edge forward as the rest of you do, and now you're out over the actual gorge itself, away from the protection of the guard towers on that western arch, and the wind is buffeting you and kind of blowing you, and your hair is kind of bustling in your face, and you have to kind of tuck your cloak down and hold yourself together tightly as you move forward. And everybody go ahead and roll an additional perception check. If you're trying to sort of make out what this thing is as you're moving forward, go ahead and roll a perception check. If you're just moving forward, you don't need to. It's up to you. That's so bad.
This is unreal.
That's so bad. Yeah.
Let's rewind that. A 1, a 3, a 3, a 1, and then I rolled a 3 and a 1.
Yeah. Well, hopefully you're getting all these out before the Amber Temple. Let's just put it that way. None of you can tell anything. It is a dark figure atop an equally, if not darker, horse, and it looks ominous and terrifying, standing on the middle of this bridge, high above a invisible river deep below you in the mists, wind blowing and shaking you to the core. It's freezing cold.
I'm just gonna walk right up to it then. So I'm gonna go 5, 10, 15, 20.
When you get right about to here, you look up at it and you can tell that it's Strahd.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
And you go up. You get that close. You said.
Well, if I could get right here, I could tell it's Strahd. I'll stop right there.
Okay, you stop there, and Casimir moves up as well, and he draws his sword. And stands at the ready, and he also notices that there's a broken piece of the bridge right here that he is definitely going to stay away from. Be gone, you devil! Go ahead, Bjorn.
Why are you drawing on us?
You just see him smile at you. He doesn't say anything or move, but you see a grin upon his face. He kind of nods his head.
Could I see if there's anything different about him? Is this like the same Strahd that we've seen before?
In what sense are you going to try to determine that? Just by looking at his face and that kind of thing, or?
Yeah, just seeing if there's anything that looks different, like knowing that it's Strahd, like is like maybe a twin that he had or something. You know, just trying to see something. If it's,
okay. Yeah.
If it's really him, or like maybe a ghost, or like, you know, something like that.
What skill check would you be using, do you think? You tell me what skill check makes sense.
To see if it's maybe just him, or insight, or I don't know.
Yeah, probably insight.
All right.
And you don't need to roll with disadvantage on this one. So 21.
All right. Yep.
Yeah, you get the sense looking at it that there's something weird, because the wind is buffeting you and shaking you, and you're having to hold your gear close to yourself, and you look up at this individual and the horse, and it's almost like the wind isn't touching them. His hair's not blowing in the wind like you'd expect. The horse isn't, you can't see you don't see any heat coming from its nostrils, any steam, from its exhalations, its respiration.
I'm gonna just charge it then.
Okay, you race forward.
Yep, and just swing down an axe at it.
Okay, you watch as Bjorn runs forward with his axe, and he swings, and roll a dexterity save for me.
All right. Just normal or a disadvantage or anything?
No, just a normal dex save. No, just a straight roll. Nice.
Ooh.
Yeah, you come flying up in a fit of rage, and you take a swing at it, and as you do, the horse and the rider almost seems to evaporate into ash and gets blown away in the wind. And you kind of stumble forward, but you maintain your footing. And it's gone. It must have been some sort of illusion. Hurry, we must get across this bridge.
Go on across. I'll get the horse.
Yeah, I'll just make way and get across.
Okay. You make your way to the eastern arch, Corben bringing the horse forward. And as you pass through the arch, you see that one of the statues atop the archway has crumbled and is broken. Only the hindquarters of the horse remain intact. And the mountain pass continues beyond. And you make your way past the bridge out to what appears to be a very similar path covered in snow. And you look forward on the path ahead of you, and it is dark and cold and blustery and snowy. And as you move forward, you see that there's this long ridge line that looks down into you don't know what, because of the visibility is so bad with the fog of Barovia, and on top of that, this massive snowstorm ahead of you. But you all make it to the other side. Casimir sheaths his sword, pulls his cloak tighter, and as Corben, as you bring the horse and cart forward, you continue forward?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so you continue forward into the cold mountainous terrain, and I need somebody, let's go with Mara this time, to roll a d20 for me. Okay. All right, and then roll a d6, please. Ooh. Okay. So, before you, as you continue your trek, you find yourself on an even narrower overlook. A steep cliff on both sides, one above you, one below. And you travel along the way, Casimir out in front again, leading the charge, so to speak. The going is slow. You get the sense that you're moving at about half speed because of the cart and the difficulty that the horse is having. At certain points in the day's travel, you have to get off the cart, Bjorn, and sort of pull on the reins of the horse to sort of to bring it forward, to keep it moving, because it's starting to get cold and bogged down. And you make your way forward. And at a point in the day, about midday, you round a bend and you hear this crack of something above you. Everybody roll a perception check at disadvantage.
These go so well for me.
It's tough when you're at disadvantage. This weather is bad. That's not bad.
11.
Well, yeah, it's not the worst. You're on the right trajectory.
Yeah.
Let's see, what does Casimir do? Let's get him in on this action. Nope, he's not doing so good still. Mara, you look up above you. You heard this crack and you hear this sort of rumbling, this, and you can see as you look up on this ridgeline, large chunks of snow starting to roll down the side of the cliff and drop onto the path in front of you.
Crap! Avalanche, guys! Avalanche!
Exactamundo. So you guys, as you all look up, Mara yells avalanche, and you look up and you can see this billowing front of snow, this front of snow just rolling on top of itself as it steamrolls its way down the hill, down the cliffside towards you. And what I'd like to do is have you guys do a skill check to get through this. So we're just gonna do one roll for everybody, and it's gonna be a group check. So there is an avalanche coming. It is rolling towards you. You've got the 4 of you plus a cart and a horse. What I'd like each of you to do is find a skill on your character sheet that you're proficient in and describe to me how you're going to use that skill to survive this avalanche. And then I'll have you each roll a d20 using that idea, and we'll see how you do. So who wants to go first? Or I can pick somebody if you'd like.
Yeah,
I can go first.
go for it.
I'm going to use athletics to pull or push the wagon, like basically pulling the horse forward as fast as I can, just trying to get it to really move out of there.
Okay, so you're using athletics to drag or push or pull or urge the horse forward to get it moving. Okay, yeah, go ahead and roll an athletics check.
Oh, I have disadvantage on still.
18? No, it's just a straight roll. It's not at disadvantage. So an 18. So yeah, you watch as Bjorn grabs the reins and just starts pulling it with all of his might, leaning forward, and the horse itself looks up at the sound as well and kind of jumps up and starts moving, and you're able to pull it forward, and you're having some good success with it. The horse is moving. You're running with the horse holding the reins. Let's go to Mara. Do you want to go next?
Yeah, I'm going to use wisdom. I know what this is. That's why when I looked up, I knew what was happening. And so I know that we've got to move. And so it kind of just knowing what an avalanche is, knowing what's happening, knowing that we don't have a lot of time, and also seeing Bjorn starting to haul ass, I'm going to be, move it, guys, let's go, and like to try and verbally urge. I'm also going to use a little thaumaturgy and just yell it so they can hear me and get going. We now, run now, and start hauling butt.
So almost like using your wisdom to give you almost like a quote unquote head start to like get going, because you sort of anticipate with your wisdom. Okay, yeah, go ahead and roll a wisdom check.
Exactly.
I like that. That's good.
Do I roll a d20 or roll wisdom?
Just well, let's see. Is there a specific? Do you have a skill that you are proficient in that you can use? Because you can roll just wisdom, but if you have a wisdom-based skill that you can lend this, you'd get your proficiency bonus as well.
So like
I don't think I can.
What about?
Yeah, I don't know if I can charm it.
Do you know survival? Yeah, because that, like what you said.
Oh, yeah, survival.
Yeah, survival. Yeah, survival.
Yep. All right, so go ahead and roll a survival check. Ooh. Mara, you turn and look up and you're avalanche, and you are so busy like trying to get everybody moving that you sort of fall behind a little bit as you're running, and you can start to feel that it's coming down on you, and sort of the snow is starting to roll you into its momentum. Corben.
Okay, I'm gonna use athletics and just try to use my strength to kind of fight my way through, like occasionally giving the cart shoves to keep it moving, and maybe, I don't know, even kind of help Mara through. And I don't know, I'm still kind of in the back. I don't know if that's possible.
So you're going to use athletics to try to help Mara?
Yeah, well, to try to get through this experience.
Okay.
But if she's like falling over the edge, I want to try to help her.
Yeah, go ahead. So you're going to use athletics. Go ahead and roll an athletics check. Okay, so you look back and you can see Mara is running behind you, and this look of just horror on her face as this this wall of snow is coming down upon her, and you're just at the front edge of it, Corben, running, and you reach out your hand and you grasp Mara's hand, and you're pulling. And let's do Casimir. No. Let's see. Casimir is going to... He sees Mara falling behind, and he's gonna actually... Yeah, this is what he's gonna do. You watch him, and well, no, you're not watching him. You guys are all running for your lives. But Casimir casts a spell, and Mara, you see this happen, and Corben, you may too, as he comes off of the ground and he flies in to grab Mara, and he puts his arm around Mara. I'm gonna have him roll an Arcana check. He cast Fly on himself.
Nice.
An 11. He grabs you, Mara, and he pulls you up and drags you with him as he flies just barely out of reach of this wall of snow that comes tumbling down and washes away the path behind you. And you guys all get to the other side, and you fall. You've got a horse, the cart. Mara, roll a D4 for me. Okay, and then roll a D8. Nice. You take 1 bludgeoning damage from being bludgeoned by snow and whatever was in the snow that was being pushed down. And then choose 3 items from your inventory that didn't make it. I'll let you choose what you think would be, logical things that might not make it through that. But
the tomb of Strahd. Just kidding.
Oh yeah. Holy shit. Where was that? That was inside. Was that inside your vestments?
Yes.
Oh, you shouldn't have said that, Ben.
I believe that as I ran, the wooden Jenny coin fell out of my pocket.
Okay.
And a stick of incense.
Okay.
Fell out of my pocket as well. Maybe
what weapons did you have? What weapons did you have on your body?
My mace. Mace is pretty much mace and my shield and my I've got 2 silver daggers and a long sword of Argynvolstolt and another long sword. Choose
one of those weapons to have also lost.
The
incense sticks isn't quite as interesting.
The long sword.
Okay, so you can.
Not the Argynvolstolt one, but the regular long sword is
all right,
gone.
you can scratch those items: the incense stick, the Jenny coin, and the long sword off your inventory list. But you, the 4 of you, make it to the other side. You can see now, looking back, you feel safe, like you've gotten to a safe spot, and you just see this huge field of snow that has piled behind you, blocking any sort of retreat back that way towards the bridge. And you only have one choice now but to move forward. And as you do, you can see that the snow is starting to come down even thicker, and the wind is howling even more, and you all just instinctively look up at the cliffs above you, just hoping that something doesn't happen again.
Well,
What
guys,
do you do?
it looks like we're not going back.
Oh, yeah. Let's keep moving. Let's get out of here.
Let's try to move as quickly as we can.
Who has a proficiency in survival? Any of you?
I do.
If you have proficiency in survival, make a survival roll for me.
Just normal?
Yep. You see Bjorn sort of taking note and looking around. Ooh, wow.
Oh, yes.
He's got
Yeah.
him tonight. Wow.
Nice.
Yep,
Yeah,
guys, that was an avalanche.
Yep. So you know for sure it was an avalanche.
Oh, an avalanche.
Bjorn, as you take sort of stock of what's going on around you, the weather, the avalanche situation, the snowfall, the wind that just keeps swirling and kind of crescendoing, it's almost creating like a gale force wind. You know, based on your experiences, that this is what appears to be a weather pattern that could potentially bring you some very potentially bring you some very hazardous weather, and possibly a blizzard is upon you.
All right, I'll relay that back.
Winter storm warning.
In my
Exactly.
experience, do I know, like, this, like, would my experience with this make me want to hunker down or push through to get out of this as much as possible?
With a natural 20, I will say that you know that the best option right now would be to find some sort of shelter.
All right. So I'll relay that to them, saying we got to get out of here quick. We're about to get caught in this really nasty blizzard. We need to find something, and we need to find it as quick as possible. So
The only way is forward. We can't go back.
So keep pushing forward and look for a place to seek shelter. I would say worst case scenario, we flip this wagon here and do that, but we might lose some stuff. So let's see how far ahead we could go.
Casimir just nods his head.
Yep.
All right, so you continue to move forward, pulling your cloaks tighter as the wind and the snow starts to seep in between your garments and your skin, making it cold. Your eyelashes are starting to freeze. You get sort of that weird sort of like where you're having to like kind of open your eyes a little bit wider to keep them from not freezing together. The beards that the men have, if you have beards, Casimir certainly doesn't, but if the two of you have beards, it's just a thick mat of snow and ice at this point. And you make your way forward, and as you do, you continue for another 20-30 minutes, and it's beginning to get difficult. You're having a hard time seeing Casimir in front of you because of the snowfall, and you're starting to see that you're getting split up a little bit on the trail because some people are having a little bit harder time than others. Let's go ahead and everybody roll a Constitution save for me.
+5 if you're close to me.
Let's see. Probably, how close do they have to be? 5 feet?
Let me just check that.
I think it's 5 feet, and I'll say that you're probably not 5 feet. It's 10 feet. I would say, let's see. Let me roll a d4. Somebody will be within 10 feet of you. It is going to be... It's going to be Bjorn. So Bjorn, you get a +5 to your roll for Constitution. So 25, Mara 15, Corben 16, very nice. And Casimir, where are you, buddy? There we go. So Casimir is up front, Mara is behind him, and then Corben, you're sort of having to sort of slow yourself down a little bit. Bjorn, the only reason you're in the back is because the horse is struggling right now. But Corben and Bjorn, you're having a hard time keeping your eyes on. You cannot see Casimir at this point, and you can just barely make out Mara in front of you. She's just got that determination where it's like one foot in front of the other, just keep moving. I can't, basically like, I'm not going to stop. I got to keep moving. So Mara, you're kind of in the zone, like trying to follow Casimir's footsteps, his footprints in the snow that are quickly filling up. And the other two of you are kind of falling behind just a little bit. And so you're getting the sense that people are starting to sort of spread out, and you're losing sight of each other.
I'm going to be just holding on to the cart and just pushing it. And that's all I'm going to be doing just with my might, just because it's snow stacking down, and, it's going to get harder and harder to push the cart. So that's where my effort is. And that way I don't need to see anything, but I'm just pushing the cart to push us forward. So if you guys wanted to hold on to the horse to lead it, or do something. That's all.
Yeah,
I just think.
I'll be on the other side of that.
Yeah, you're basically talking to Corben at this point because Mara
Yeah.
is ahead of you by 15, 20 feet, and you're not even sure where Casimir is at this point.
All right. I'll call out to Mara and say, could you steer the horse? Corben and I will push it. It's like we can't see anything, so could you hold on to or lead the horse?
Can I hear him?
Let's see. What's your passive perception?
I don't know.
I think it's a 14. You have a 14 passive perception. Bjorn, roll a d20. Just to sort of adjudicate this. We'll see if she can hear you.
Oh.
She cannot hear you. You watch Bjorn as she doesn't even seem to acknowledge that you're shouting into the wind. And you know, based on what's happening, that she can't hear you.
I am looking up from time to time to see if there's like any kind of cave openings and that kind of thing along the mountainside edge.
Okay. Go ahead and roll a perception check with disadvantage. Very nice. Very nice. And then everybody roll a Constitution saving throw with advantage. (16, 25,
Natural 20.
9). All right, Mara, you do see something, but you also take 4 cold damage. You can sense now that things are getting dire. The rest of you also know that things are getting dire, but you're able to sort of stave off the damage from the cold at this point so far. Mara, you're looking around, almost feeling like at this point desperation start to set in. Casimir is far ahead. You can just barely make out his figure as he sort of appears and disappears in the snow ahead of you. You can see his footsteps, and you look up, and you're being driven forward just by sheer faith that the Morning Lord will somehow come to your aid in this time of need. You're probably even praying, I would guess, at this point, because you're starting to feel the pain of the cold kind of crushing in on you and closing in on you. And you look up, and it's almost like the Morning Lord has heard your prayer. And you see off to the left that kind of a small little crevasse in the side of the cliff that appears to be a dark opening of a cave.
I turn and I'm going to use thaumaturgy and yell, "In here!" and then I yell forward for Casimir to hear me as well. "In here!" And hopefully they've heard me because I'm using my big giant voice. And
okay.
And I'm going to start heading in that direction.
All right, roll a d20 with advantage, just a d20. And actually, you can add your spell ability modifier. So add your wisdom bonus to this too. So just a d20 with advantage and add your wisdom. Nice, natural 20. Yes, as you shout out. Exactly. This is a test of the emergency broadcast system. You get a text from FEMA, and yeah. The moment you say that, Casimir stops, turns, and looks back. That was a great time to roll a natural 20, by the way. He turns and he hears you. Corben and Bjorn hear you. The horse hears you. Everybody hears you. And Casimir starts walking back towards you, and because you've kind of stopped at that point, and the cart catches up with you. You're all standing there, and you point out that there's a cave. And your friends look very relieved as you do this. You start to feel a sense of hope, and you make your way to the cave.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you find that just tucked around this large boulder that appears as though it maybe fell in an avalanche or in a rock slide. Around the back side of it, there is what you thought was a small shelter area. It actually appears to be a dark cave that leads into the side of the cliff.
I'm gonna cast another cantrip and cast light in front of me here so I can see what's going on.
Okay. So you illuminate the chamber. What's the distance on that light spell?
Let's see here. Oh, touch one object. So I'm gonna touch. Sorry, I wasn't paying attention. I touch my shield, and that's going to be 20-foot radius.
Okay.
And for bright light, and then dim light, another 20.
Okay. All right. So you get inside the entrance to this cave, and you cast your light spell, and the rest of your friends get tucked in there. You have to detach the horse from the cart to get the horse inside. The cart won't quite fit, but you find yourself in this short, maybe 20-foot deep chamber that is wide enough for the four of you and the horse to huddle inside of. And you look around as the light illuminates, and it sort of sparkles as the walls of this cavern. It's probably about 10 to 12 feet tall as well. Just the walls and the ceiling just covered in ice. And there are drifts of snow that have been blown into this opening from outside as the storm rages outside. You get in there, and instantly you feel relief from not having the wind howling down through your clothing and piercing your skin with the cold. Mara, you having actually taken cold damage, start to feel a lot of relief by getting inside of this cavern. So the four of you are in this cavern now, the horse, and Casimir kind of slumps down, and you can see that his lips are blue, and he's just kind of shivering. Perhaps we need to get a fire going.
I'm gonna go over and just like lift up his cloak and like put it around me too, so that we get some body heat, both of us, because both of us have taken a lot of damage with the cold. And I'm like, Casimir, pardon me, but we need to stay warm, or we're never gonna make it. So I'm gonna kind of like just put that around it, and then I'm grabbing my bedroll and I'm putting that around us too, so that we can create some body heat, platonic body heat, and because we're probably in rougher shape than the other two.
Hey Mara, are you able to cast a fireball to give us some instant heat in here?
That'd be like dropping a couple sticks of dynamite on it.
Yeah, that might not be the best choice, but let me see if there's something that I can do here. Give me a moment.
I'm gonna grab that firewood.
Yep.
Give me a moment.
So you bring Corben, you and Bjorn start bringing in a little bit of the wood out of the cart. The cart is still out in the maelstrom of this blizzard, getting blown back and forth and shaking on the wheels, but you're able to gather some of the bundles of wood and carry it inside. Go ahead, and whoever's going to try to start the fire, go ahead and roll a survival check for me.
How are
Corben,
you?
I have survival. Do you have survival?
Yeah, you should probably do that.
All right.
I do have a tinderbox.
All right. Could I roll with advantage with Corben's help?
If I try to help him?
Yeah, if he helps you, for sure.
Yeah, I'm going to help. 18.
Yeah, you get a fire started. Absolutely. And the fire starts to blaze. Go ahead.
Yeah, anything I would do, I'm like chattering over there going, anything I would do would blow this place apart. I'm sorry, I can't. I've got too much. And I'm just like.
Yeah, it's cold. It's really cold. Okay, so you guys get a fire going, and as you do, the flames start to flicker, and this little cavern starts to heat up a bit, and the flames are strong. They're flickering from the wind, of course. There's still wind coming in here, even though you're out of the main brunt of it. And as Mara and Casimir are sort of huddled near the fire, warming themselves underneath the cloaks together, Corben, what are you and Bjorn doing?
Just getting the fire set. starting to, unburden myself with some of my gear, set up my, bedroll and whatnot. Something that I
Okay.
can I have a winter blanket, so I can start to get huddled up.
Okay. How about you, Bjorn?
Doing jumping jacks, trying to warm up. Bjorn just trying to do anything to go through. Just walking around circles with the horse to try to keep the horse not freezing up too. So just and they're just walking around and just keeping body heat going.
Okay.
And I'm also
good.
pulling some. I'm gonna pull some stuff out of my. I've got I put the bedroll around us, but I'm gonna like pull one of the blankets or something. I'm gonna throw it over the horse again to kind of get both to protect the horse for the moment and to get that blanket warm so that I can like swap it out and kind of use the heat of that horse to heat up my things a little bit before I put them back on me.
Could I investigate the cave as I'm walking around just to see if there's any other entrances or anything?
Yeah, go ahead and well, first of all, what I will tell you right away, you don't have to roll for this part, is that the cave, you're inside of this initial chamber, the cave goes deeper.
All right.
So what would you like to do with that knowledge? Everybody else is sort of getting, like, Mara and Casimir are sitting together, huddled around the fire. Corben mentioned that he's getting his bedroll sort of lined out and getting basically trying to warm himself. And you're sort of doing jumping jacks, walking around, and you see behind you, deeper into the mountain, you see a darkness.
All right. I'm gonna just peek in. Yep, I'm gonna peek in, just being interested, making sure there's not a bear or a yeti that's gonna be like crawling up on us. So I'm gonna just peek in there, just slowly start walking in there.
Okay. All right, so let's do this. Dun, dun, dun. I'm gonna bring you guys over to a map. Let's see if that's gonna work. There we go. So you've got a fire going. You've got, can you guys see the map now? I'm gonna bring this over to the map too. Okay. So that's where you are. To the left side of the map is back out to the main path that you just came in from, and down sort of that dog leg to the right, going down and to the east, I guess, is the depths of the cave.
Yeah, I would definitely want to check that out. I might have jumped the gun a little bit, saying Corben was just gonna lay down. I didn't realize it was just a big opening.
It's plausible, though. I mean, based on what just happened, you guys, it is absolutely plausible that you would, you're in survival mode, trying to be warm, trying to, get your body temperature back up. Do me one quick thing before we go too much farther. Make sure that your hit points on your tokens here are accurate. I know, Mara, you took a little bit of damage. Corben, are you at full?
Yes.
Okay. And Bjorn, you're at full, and Casimir's at full. Okay, great.
I'll make a comment before I start going. Like, it looks like it goes in deeper. I'm just gonna make sure that
we should make sure it's safe.
Else taking chill. Yeah. Corben, do you want to come with me while they're warming up?
We should stay together.
I was gonna actually, as I saw him walking that direction, I was already getting up and kind of rearranging Casimir's stuff around him, because I've got the shield that's lit up, and I don't want him to go by himself. So
Casimir says, "I will keep the fire burning. Shout if you need me."
Okay.
So you have a light cantrip going, is that correct, Mara?
Yep.
Okay, so this little flame here, right here, is for you. That's your that's your light.
Okay.
Bjorn, you have dark vision, I believe, right? Yeah, you're a dwarf.
Yep.
So let's just make sure that that's turned on. Dark vision has vision. Yep, you have night vision
Yep,
on.
I
Great.
got vision.
And Corben, you're a half elf, right? So you have
Yes.
vision.
Yeah.
Let's see, make sure that you're on there. Bloop. Make sure you've got your night vision. Yeah, you should have it too. So, all right. So,
Cool.
Bjorn, you're leading the party. Why don't you go ahead and move yourself forward to a point where you want to get to, and if you go too far, I will ask you to stop.
All right.
So when you get right there, I want first you guys to describe to me, how are you moving through the cavern?
I would say quietly, just because. So stealth life. Just because this is a cave and there might be something living in here, so I'm just trying not to spook anything.
How about the rest of you?
And
I'm trying to move cautiously, just taking Bjorn's lead.
Okay.
me too, but I can't see anything. Like the light is not shining anything for me, so I can't see anything on this map right now.
You can't see anything on the map.
Like beyond the area where we had the fire, I can't see anything.
Oh.
Oh, sure. Hold on a sec. Let's see. Hold on. Does that help?
Yeah,
Okay.
helps a lot.
Yeah.
Because
all right.
I can't see those two.
Well, you can
Bring
move your
your light with
cantrip
you.
with you.
Oh,
You
there
have
we
to-
go. There we go.
Yep.
There we go.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah.
Got
Okay.
it.
All right. So everybody roll a stealth check.
I might have to roll this at a disadvantage.
Yeah, depending on what kind of armor you have on.
I have
kind of-
chainmail. that's pretty heavy, right?
I can't remember. Hold on, let me look it up. I do think that it's with disadvantage, but
I'm thinking it is. Yeah.
it's a
That's funny.
chain
It's not
Yep.
a chain shirt, it's
Yep.
chainmail.
disadvantage. Mara, what kind of armor do you have?
Light, I think. God, yeah. I've got
I've rolled
Yeah.
a
light armor.
nat 20 and a natural 1.
Are
But
you
I
at
have
advantage?
no. I should have just did a normal roll. So
Oh, okay.
it was a nat
I
20.
got-
Yeah, I did
Luckily-
the same thing.
I got 17 with disadvantage.
Not bad.
Yeah.
All right. Let me just check one thing here. You have scale mail on, Mara. Scale mail. You have disadvantage on stealth as well.
Okay.
So
Do you need me to
14.
re-roll?
Nope.
Okay.
We'll just go with your 14.
Okay.
So a natural 20, a 14, and a 17. Okay. Okay. So you get to that point, and Bjorn, what are you doing?
Just gonna keep moving up. So 5, 10, 15.
So right there, stop right there. I'm not going to even make you roll a check. As you open into this larger cavern, you can see that the ceiling of the cavern is about 20 to 25 feet tall in this area. You initially get the scent of animal as you move into this area. And as you turn the corner, you see two large wolf-like creatures that appear to be sleeping.
All right. So I'm gonna turn that corner around then. So if I was coming up, I'm going to.
Are those the bad ones?
Yeah,
The
that's
Casimir told us about.
Yeah, I think so. So let's back up. Backing up.
You can just hear him snoring.
Can we move? So I'm gonna keep backing up and like signal to people to, hey, should we start a fire like right here before they wake up?
I
Or
mean,
what?
if we wake them up, they'll just run out, right, and attack us.
Yeah, but if we're doing a fire as a barrier,
I think they could probably just jump over that, don't you think?
I don't know. All right, well, do you want to
Oh,
just go attack
wait a
them?
minute. Wait a minute. How high is the ceiling where we're standing?
When in that smaller, narrower tunnel that you're in, it's probably about 12 feet.
Like the wall of fire is what I was thinking.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering is if I could put up a wall of fire, but I can make the wall up to 60 feet long, 20 feet high, and 1 foot thick.
What's the
Okay.
duration on it?
Up to 1 minute.
Yeah, that's for in combat. That's for like
Yeah,
controlling a battlefield.
Yeah.
So it's not going to isolate them in there for.
Yeah,
a period
it's
of
not.
time.
It's not.
So do you want to?
We should go tell Casimir what we're dealing with.
Yep. And
we
Sneak
might
attack
have to try to clear those things out if we want to stay here.
yep.
Yeah,
Otherwise,
and
we're gonna have to leave.
well, while they're sleeping too, I could cast, blindness, deafness on them there's some other things that we could do to discombobulate them, and then that would give us an advantage on an attack if they,
Right.
So I'm sorry, I should be whispering. Let's go back.
Yeah. I mean, that's assuming. Yeah, we would all be. We made some noise getting in here though, so we go back and just. What we could do is just wait, and maybe they sleep through. So if we just keep watch right here, have like one person just still and just watch them. I can see them from right here. So what do you guys want to press forward and attack them? Because it's a blizzard right now.
Casimir, I'm just gonna
Yes.
tell Casimir. There's 2 very large white wolves inside this cave.
He rises to his feet.
At the other end of this cave.
Are they aware of our presence?
They're sleeping. We haven't woke them yet.
What do you propose we do?
I don't know. I don't know if we'll make it out there.
No, we can't go
If
back
we
out
press
there in
on.
this storm. We won't survive. And Bjorn, you know that to be true as well, based on that natural 20 that you rolled earlier, that going back out, it would be a better chances to fight these creatures than it would be to go back outside at this point. That doesn't mean you couldn't do it. That just means that you know from previous history that it's dangerous out there.
Yeah, I want wolf meat, man. I'm pretty you guys better hurry up, figure out what you want, because I'm about to pounce on these guys.
Well, I could do a magic circle around us, but then you'd
Can't
be
you
outside.
trap them in?
Trap them in the magic circle? Ooh, I bet you I could. Let me look. Let me think about this for a second. It's been a while since I've Yeah.
We'd have to go in there with them to attack them, right?
Yeah,
Mara,
they're
you would
sleeping,
know
though.
that the magic circle really works against magical creatures, celestials, elementals, fae, fiends, and undead. Doesn't really work for beasts.
Yeah, that's
not to say that you couldn't try it.
No, I think we just have a different approach. We need to make a different approach.
Yeah, just cover me. I'm going in.
Wait, we need a plan.
I could launch fireballs at them.
Yeah, I could certainly do that too.
I would say if I take the blunt and if you guys came in.
We should start with ranged attacks.
Yep.
If you're in there, we can't shoot at them because you'll be there
Yeah.
and we'll hurt you.
I'm saying I bring them to right here. So if you guys come right here, because where I'm at right now is narrow, and only one of them is gonna fit through right there. So I could fight them off one at a time. So if you guys come behind me, so I'll go attack one and run back over here, and then you guys stay behind me, and I'll act as a wall.
What I'm saying
Right,
is
but
use our advantage
can't-
of them sleeping and attack them while they sleep.
Yep. So I'll just do a 3-2-1 because I don't have a ranged attack.
Well, we do. That's what we're saying. Don't go first.
right, but we do. If you go first, then I'll incinerate you along with them. We don't want
okay. Let's do that then.
We're talking like 30 plus hit points here.
Alright.
It's a pretty big spell. Potentially.
I'll
Depending
stay
on
up
what
front
they roll.
too, and this is what you guys do your range attack. Then we fall back to where we're at right now.
I think, yeah, we're better off trying to fight them in this narrow space where they can't surround us. I don't
Alright.
know.
I'll pop out, then you guys attack, and then fall back to exactly how we are right here.
I'm sorry. Say that again.
You guys, I'll come out to let you guys through me and attack them. Then you guys run back exactly how we're positioned right now before they get behind us and flank us, and I could act as a shield pretty much.
Sure, that works.
Sure.
So let's do this. Let's have everybody go ahead and roll. Click on your tokens and roll initiative. So let's get an initiative order. You guys will have a surprise attack on these creatures. Ooh, very nice. This is going to work out well for you guys, I think. Okay. So you guys are going to have basically a surprise attack. Plus, you're all going to get to have a second round of actions before they even get a chance to act. So this is pretty good. So Casimir's going to slide past you, Bjorn, and get into position right here. And he's going to kind of look back to you, Mara, and kind of see what you're doing. And then his very first action at this point, before he goes, Mara, if you want, you can get a little bit closer. Go ahead and position yourselves before he fires. He'll wait for everybody to get into position wherever you want to be.
Well, Corben goes before me, so Corben, get in front of me.
Well,
You have to go.
we're in a surprise round right now.
You're going to get yes. There's not really anything. It's not really a surprise round. You're just going to get a chance to go first before the round even really begins.
Well, you're gonna need to be in front of me to cast it, right? Or not necessarily. Where do you want me to be? Right here?
Well, your turn goes before me, so you're gonna have to. It's cat. So you're gonna have to get behind me when I cast my spell, or I'm gonna have to get in front of all you.
Well,
to
you can
cast my
place your fireball like up
yep.
here.
You could just
Yeah.
Don't cast it down here, and then it'll hit all of us. But if you put it up here, as long as are you saying you need to be in this spot to cast it, where I was?
Okay, if I'm casting fireball, everything within a 20-foot radius is gonna get something, right? So I'm gonna have to cast something different to try and.
Well, if you
I step in.
If you step forward, that's 35 feet. If you put it right between the two of them, that wouldn't hit us.
All right.
Correct.
Yes.
Right.
Okay. So you guys are all in position where you want to be?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So Casimir is going to go first. He is going to cast a fireball. They are going to have disadvantage because they're basically asleep. Actually, let's do this. Just to be fair, everybody do a roll and a second set of stealth checks, because now you've come back, you're getting into position. Let's all do one more stealth check just to be fair. Uh-oh.
Oh,
Oh no. Okay. So we've got a 14, 11, and a 12. You may not get a surprise round. Let's see. Let's see what they do. Ooh, yeah. As you guys crunch around in the snow around the corner, you hear a... and they start to get up off their feet. You've alerted them. You all get to go first before they get to go, but it's not going to be a surprise round because of the rolls. Casimir is going to shoot a fireball in there, right in between them. Let me just mark off his spell slot. They need to make dexterity saving throws against his spell save DC, which is a 14. So let's see. Dexterity save. First one on the left is a 6, and the one on the right is a 9. They both fail, so they are going to take, this is good, they are going to take 8d6.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's pretty substantial. So let's do
They're
4.
still standing. I'm running, guys, because that's a lot of damage.
That's a total of 29 damage as a ball of fire erupts. So let's see, let me just jot this down. And okay, ball of fire erupts, just this flash of bright energy. And you see as the fire subsides, this magical fire subsides, these white furred wolves stand about 10 to 12 feet up on their full feet, charred, their faces, their fur is burnt across their faces, and they're damaged, and they're howling. And that's Casimir's turn. And then he is going to, after he does that, he's going to actually move back 10, let's see, that's 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. All right, Bjorn.
I'm going to throw a javelin at the closest one to me.
Okay.
Oops, the wrong one.
The javelin goes wide as the wolf sees you throwing it and sort of ducks out of the way, and it ricochets behind it into the rocks.
Second attack, throwing another one.
That one also misses.
All right, seeing that, I'm running.
Oh shit!
2, 3, and I'm gonna sit right there and then rage.
Okay.
And turning myself and getting ready for my companions to attack, then get behind me and just waiting.
You guys just watch as Bjorn starts to Hulk out. Yeah.
Oh, shit.
He's doing this.
Just the body posing.
Yep. All right, Corben, you watch as Bjorn throws 2 javelins and they both miss, and then he ducks behind the corner.
Okay. So seeing him miss twice, I'm going to decide this is a good time for me to cast Bless. So I will print that.
Okay.
Being that I can't attack from range. So I'm going to bless all 3 of my companions here.
Okay.
And so...
It's concentration, so you're concentrating.
Yep.
Yep.
And so they can add a d4 to their attack roll.
And
Or
saving throws. Yep.
Yeah.
For the next minute or until you lose concentration. So just
Right.
you can remind them if they forget to roll it. That's always nice to have a reminder. That is your action. Do you want to do anything else, like move, or do you have a bonus action?
I'm gonna move back this way. My only bonus action is a spell, so I can't do that, right?
If it's a cantrip, you can.
Yeah, no, I don't have cantrips.
Okay.
I will move back here next to Casimir. Actually, I'll move right here next to Bjorn to be close to the action in the front.
All right. That brings us to Mara.
Okay, I'm gonna cast Fireball as well because I saw that worked pretty gosh darn good.
Yeah, it sure did.
And I'm gonna...
What's your spell save DC on this?
15.
All right, so the first one on the left is going to fail. The one on the right is going to fail as well. So go ahead and roll damage.
Ooh.
Wow.
35.
35 damage. Yeah, another blast just erupts, and you hear a howling as the fireball erupts into the cavern. Anything else, Mara?
No, I'm going to. Well, actually, I'm going to add that D4 to the damage.
It's not
No,
good
it
for
only goes
damage.
to- yeah.
It's only for the attack roll or a saving throw of yours. It doesn't affect them.
All right.
Yep.
All right, then I'm going to scoot on back. I'm following directions. I'm going to get on back here.
Okay.
And await further instruction.
All right. Brings us to the wolves. Bjorn, as you peek around the side at these wolves, they look charred and burnt, and you can smell the sizzling barbecue smell of flesh, and you watch as they move off deeper into the cavern.
Uh-oh.
There's a deeper area.
And they disappear around the corner.
Wow, that was unexpected.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping that there wasn't going to be more. I was thinking that there is a area. All right, well, we hold up and maybe we scared them off. Maybe they're getting a hell lot more wolves. So
You don't
Yeah.
think we should
I
figure
say
out
we
where
take
they
a-
went? Yeah. What were you saying?
I say we take a rest here and we just wait for either the blizzard to come blow over or for the wolves to come back. I don't see a reason why to go after them.
Yeah, I you know, they could very well have a rear exit and could be coming up behind us too. So, or they could be going to get buddies if they were sort of the sentries for the rest of their family. They might be coming back with more.
I feel like this is the
I feel
best.
like we should know, though. We should know one way or the other.
I'm with Bjorn though. I don't think we should go and expose ourselves. I think, I've got some firepower and Casimir's got some firepower. If, one of us is pointed one way and one of us is pointed the other way, we could be watching and ready.
Yep. And if this blizzard blows over, we don't need to stand here and fight. We can just leave.
Yeah.
So I kind of feel like it's up to you. I mean, we
Do
just sit there and wait. And
Right.
Do you think we should go back to the other cavern though, so that we can keep an eye on the opening to the cave?
Well, I mean, we're right there. I mean, I could see the fire from here that we lit. The fire and the horses right there. It's like
35 feet down the corridor.
yeah.
Right, but can we see the opening? Like, can we see them
No,
coming
you can't. From
in?
where you are right there,
Around
you
the
can't
corner.
see the entrance. Yeah.
That's
Right.
what I'm concerned with, is maybe having an
Yeah.
eye on the actual entrance.
So I'll keep post here, and if you guys want to watch watch the entrance, I can light a fire right here to keep myself warm. So we have two fires and two groups of people just taking watch.
Yeah.
Are you fine with that, Corben? I just feel like
mean,
if we
Yeah, that's a watch from
Even-
two different directions, though. I mean, yeah.
But we should, and maybe Casimir and I could maybe split up, since we know that the fire is hurting them. Casimir could maybe sit with you, Bjorn, and Corben, you could come with me,
Right. Okay.
and then we can sort of be ready to keep an eye.
Yeah.
We'll keep an eye on the door up here and go
I
from
say
there.
if they do come in, we bottleneck them right where Corben's
Yeah.
at. So
Yeah.
that way, if we're fighting them on too, if they do flank us, we just stay in this this
Yeah.
might be a good spot.
Okay, so are we still considered in initiative?
Not really. No.
Okay.
Hey, Dave, since I
Yes.
have this light here, can you light up the map so I can see down the corridor?
Well, you can see what you can see from where you are based
Okay.
on the light that you have.
Okay.
So
All right.
that's
I
just
just didn't-
the nature of the
Okay.
map and visibility in a dark cave.
Got it.
Yep. So right now where you're at, you should be able to see Casimir just on the edge of your vision.
Yep.
And then you should be able to see the essentially the entrance to the cave to the left.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so you guys are going to basically hunker down and just watch essentially to see what happens.
Yep.
Okay.
Not wanting to run out into a trap, so that's my main thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, yeah, great. Go ahead and are you guys going to try to do a rest here? I mean, it has been, you know, a significant day of travel, so I imagine you're going to try to take some sort of a long rest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So who's going to take the first watch?
I think one person at each end should take the watch at the same time.
It's like Corben and Bjorn.
Or like
Or
I think one of us with fire should be awake at all times. So if Bjorn's going first, I'm going first.
Got it.
Okay,
Okay, that sounds
we'll
good.
do that.
Yes, I agree. So Casimir will go back to the fire and sort of hunker down and try to rest. Along with Corben, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Mara and Bjorn. Bjorn, you are inside the cave, sort of watching from that corner, keeping your eye on the interior of the cave here.
Yep.
Mara, you're watching the other way. Go ahead and both of you roll perception checks for me. Nice. And then
I'm sorry. I hit performance instead of perception.
Oh
Sorry.
yeah, I didn't even notice that. Go ahead and roll a perception check. There you go. And then Bjorn, roll a wisdom save for me.
What is up with this wisdom saves, dude?
Ooh,
Oh, what
wow.
is up
Another
with
nat 20.
I know.
Sheesh. So Bjorn, you at your end of the watch over in that cavern, you can hear what appears to be the sound of crunching footsteps. In the snow and in the ice. And you also hear this faint like moaning, like
Coming from over here.
deep inside the cavern, kind of echoing through.
All right. Does it sound like it's coming closer?
You don't get the sense that it's coming closer. I can
Right.
really hear myself now for some reason echoing in the
Probably.
in the audio. Mara, what did you roll? 16? You keep an eye out watching the front entrance and you see the snow continuing to build up. You can see the edge of the cart in the far vision before the cart is fully obscured by the snow and the wind, and you can see the snow piling up on top of the cart throughout the night. And Bjorn, you just hear this almost a human moaning coming from deep inside the cave.
I'm gonna peek out over here. I'm feeling well enough where during my watch I can still run back. So I want to start moving over here to see down this channel a little bit more.
Okay, so how far are you gonna go? Go ahead and place your token.
About right there.
Okay.
Do I hear it a little bit better now?
Yeah, you hear the louder, and you, let's see, what was your perception check? A 19. You see at the far end of this large chamber, it narrows down again, and there's sort of a bottleneck right here where another narrow cave looks to begin, and you can see from your position that there is a pile of bones that are, and you're not sure if it's one humanoid or not, but you definitely can tell that it's humanoid bones that are piled up in this area.
I'm gonna sneak just to right here.
Go ahead and roll a stealth check. $13. Okay.
Yep.
You get to right there, and as you do, the moaning is louder, and you look inside, and you can tell that there are multiple piles of bones inside this chamber. It opens up, and you can see, and some of the skeletons are actually frozen. So all of this kind of wall is ice, and the bones are frozen into the sides of the cavern at this point. And let's see, what else can I tell you?
Are the skeletons moaning? It's not like them, like zombies, is it?
Let's see. Roll another perception check for me at this point.
Whoa.
You get the sense that quite possibly the moaning is coming from not only in front of you, but it's also coming from right next to you.
Oh,
And I need you to roll initiative for me.
Right next to you.
And you watch as this apparition appears next to you.
All right. Natural 1 for initiative.
And you still got an 18?
That
Yeah,
can't be
no.
right.
No, that can't be right. So you got a 6. That's weird.
Oh, it was a 13. It's on advantage, so 13. Then, a natural 1 was. What is that for?
The second one.
That is a weird. Whatever it did is really weird.
Yeah, you rolled 2 d20s, and then it rolled, and then it added your initiative to it.
Why is it doing that for initiative though?
Did you have advantage on?
No, I have normal on.
That's weird.
I'm not
So
sure.
what was the die roll?
A 13 and a 1.
13. So then I have +5 initiative.
So it is. So I guess we're going. I don't know why it rolled twice, but it's an 18. I don't know why it's red. Okay, so you have advantage, and you look as essentially this wily-haired apparition of a creature emerges next to you, and it's like a specter, a humanoid specter. Let's see, can I show this to you guys? Yeah, you can see the token. Yeah, you can see the token. And it appears, one of them appears right next to you, and you can see there are 2 more in front of you, deeper into the cavern, that emerge essentially from the bones that are embedded in the walls of this cavern.
Yep, I'm dashing out. 5, 10, 20, 25, 30. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. And, yep, that's what I'm doing.
Okay.
Then, Mara, something's coming. They're ghosts.
Oh crap. Guys, wake up.
Huh? What? What's going on?
There's problems down by Bjorn. So I'm gonna run towards him.
Casimir.
Yes. What is it?
There's a problem down the tunnel.
There's ghosts.
The wolves are back.
Something
Can
about
I only
a ghost.
move my 30 feet, Dave?
Let's see. You can get up to where Bjorn is.
Okay. I can't see what's in front of him. What is it? What's going on? I can't see that far.
is some type of specters up ahead.
They
Might
did
be
not.
coming.
They did not give chase, so they're not really in the initiative order at this point. You don't
Alright.
see them anywhere. You look back over your shoulder, Bjorn, and you don't see them anymore. You can just barely kind of make out where one of them was.
They just popped out of the walls, guys. Well, they definitely know we're here now.
Didn't chase you?
No, they're just out ahead. So if you look right here, you guys see where I'm pinging?
Mm-hmm.
I can't see that far with my light. I'm sorry, I don't have dwarf eyes.
They're around this area.
So you're just kind of doing
I
this
could
with your
see.
hands, and I can't see them.
Well, I'll just explain to Mara that the room curves around to the right. See where my ping is now? It's a short wall, and then it curves around to the right and opens up into another chamber, kind of like a
Okay.
horseshoe shape.
Okay.
So it bends around to the right and opens up into something else. I don't know what were they threatening to you? Like what?
Well, they just, to be honest, they kind of peeked out of nowhere, so they didn't necessarily attack me. So
You didn't
maybe
feel
they
them
aren't
try to
coming.
do anything?
No,
What were you doing?
just peeking around. See how deep?
By yourself? And I kind of punch him in the arm, and then I rub my fist because his arm is really hard.
Yeah,
It's
I was
cool then.
basically to peek to see if they're coming up or not, and that way we had a little bit more time.
Oh, Bjorn.
Hey, the stuff you do on your watch is your business. Stuff I do on my watch, that's my business.
Right, but when your business makes my business have to be down here, then that's another story. Dude, be careful.
Well,
We
they're
need
not
you.
here. So do you guys want to just wait again?
Yeah, I suppose.
I mean, if they didn't follow you, maybe we just wait. Yeah, might get into it now.
Right.
Similar situation with the wolves. Although
All right.
now there's more than just wolves.
See, it was worth going down.
Oh, Bjorn. Eye roll. Big eye roll.
All right. Well, Corben, since you're up, I think it's your time for the shift.
All right.
All right.
All right, so you guys make your way back to the camp, the campfire.
Right, Casimir, it's your turn. I'm gonna take a little nappy.
Yes, of course. Corben, you'll take the far end.
Yeah, I'll take this side.
Very well. All right, let's get a couple of perception rolls, just straight rolls, no disadvantage this time. Ooh, natural 20 for Casimir. Wow.
Casimir, get up. You're still sleeping by the fire.
Yes.
3.
He gets over here. Corben, you really don't hear much. You can hear the storm sort of echoing down this narrow corridor of the cave. And so it's kind of distracting to you. And you're watching in this area. You're sort of peeking out and keeping an eye on the area where the wolves and whatever it was that Bjorn saw. And as you're standing there, suddenly you hear a whisper behind your ear. Did you hear that? What is it?
Casimir.
And you're like, what? And Casimir is standing behind you.
What?
And
No.
he says, the moaning. Listen. And you kind of hone in and you pay close attention. You can hear.
That must be what Bjorn was hearing.
Yes. There's something wrong with this cavern. We must be very, very vigilant in our watch.
All right.
Keep an eye. And then he heads back over this way. Is there anything that you want to do during the watch, Corben?
No.
Okay,
Not
roll a
specifically.
d20 for me.
Okay.
Find Steed, Scooby Doo.
Natural 20.
Yes.
Nice. Very nice. That's exactly what you wanted to get. Go ahead and roll initiative, Corben.
Oh, God. 14.
Okay. Give me 1 second here. Oh, natural 20. All right, so Corben, as you are now in a heightened state after having Casimir having snuck up on you, you watch your eyes almost, it's like you don't even believe your eyes. You're like, what? And you see this hunched low to the ground, as low as possible, this white furred canid just sneaking towards you. And it comes around the corner and you see right away that this individual is not charred or burnt. And when it comes and sees you and you see it, eyes wide open, it pounces. And gets to right about there and is going to use its cold breath. So it gets up close to you and it opens its mouth, and you can see that it's when it exhales out of its nose, this blue mist comes out of its nostrils, and it opens its mouth as if to yawn. And you watch as this, you get blasted with this freezing cold cone of ice and wind. And I need you to make a dexterity save. DC 12.
Dexterity save, okay. Oh, natural 20.
Nice. So as the mouth opens, you anticipate something happening, and you kind of crouch as low to the ground as you can. And let's see. So you will still take a little bit of damage, half of the damage.
Half of 48.
Yep.
All ones. Ugh. 9.
You will take a total of 9 cold damage. And let me just double check this here. Okay. And yep, that's all that happens with that. You can see behind it the 2 wolves that are charred come from behind. And one of them is going to push forward and is going to try to shove you backwards. So let's do a contested shove attack. So it will be athletics. Oh, and it's going to have advantage because of pack tactics.
Oh,
So
boy.
strength against your either athletics or a acrobatics check, your choice, versus a 19, sorry.
Oh, God. Okay, strength or... I think athletics. Okay, athletics.
Okay.
18.
It pushes you back, and you get pushed back into the cave.
Okay.
And that's their turn. You just hear snarling.
I'm just gonna yell, the wolves are back! At the top of my lungs.
Okay.
And,
Casimir is going to roll initiative to get in on the action. Everybody else can roll initiative as well.
I'm gonna disengage. Go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then can I still take the dash, or was my disengage the action?
Disengage is your
and
action.
dash? Okay. And
If you're a rogue, you could do that, but you're not a rogue.
Yeah, I know. Okay. Yeah, my so if that was my action. Hold on, let me just make sure. Sorry, I have to look it up. My lay on hands. Nope, that's an action too.
Yeah, you might, unless you have a bonus action, you've used your movement and your action.
All right, yep. I'm going to just leave it at that then.
Okay, Bjorn, you jump up right away when you hear Corben shout, and you can see just around the corner one of the charred and burnt wolves peeking around, snarling.
Yep. So I'm gonna rage and move up 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, and throw a javelin at it.
Okay.
By the way,
Nice.
I figured out why I was rolling twice. I have a feature at 7th level. Makes
Oh.
me-
So you get advantage on initiative
Yep,
rolls.
here.
Oh, cool. All right, yeah, that hits. The first one hits for a total of 6 damage.
All right,
Piercing?
Second attack.
Okay. That one. Yes, that hits.
All right, so 10 more.
The second javelin sticks next to the first one, and you watch as this wolf-like creature slumps to the ground.
All right. Then that will end my turn.
Okay. Let's see.
Dave, the one that slumped to the ground, is it dead?
As far as you can tell. All right, that brings us back to the wolves, and then you guys will be able to jump in, Mara and Casimir. Yeah, wolf advances. Let's see here. Oops. Hi. Gets right here, and it is going to bite at Corben.
And can I see that, because I can't see dim light here, Dave?
Let's see.
I need to know if I can see from where I'm at.
You cannot see the wolf from where you are.
Okay.
Based
All
on what I'm looking at. You can just barely make out
Okay.
Corben.
Okay.
Corben, it's only a 14.
It misses.
Okay, so you're able to block it. I don't know if you have a shield or what you have, but
Yeah, I have a shield.
Yep, you block it with your shield as it comes at you and tries to bite at you. And a second wolf comes up behind, stepping towards the one that's damaged, and is going to use the rest of its movement to pull it back as if taking its dead with it. All right, that brings us to Mara. You can just see, you can just barely make out that Corben is fighting something, essentially at the edge of your view.
I'm gonna run forward. These are 5-foot or 10-footers?
These are all 5 feet.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, which would put my light like that. And I'm going to hit with Scorching Ray.
Okay.
My favorite.
It's awesome.
Oh yeah, nice.
Yeah, that hits. All 3 of them
Ooh,
hit.
Nice.
Total of 13 damage. All right. All right. Anything else, Mara? You watch as these 3 blasts of fire energy erupt into this thing.
No, that's it for me.
All right, Casimir he is going to not cast Fireball, because that would kill everybody. He is instead going to cast Magic Missile. Let's see. And he will cast it at a higher level. He's going to cast it at 2nd level. So he's going to do 4 darts, so 4d4. They all hit automatically because that's Magic Missile. So 13 plus... Okay, so plus 4, so 17. You watch, Corben, you can see as all of a sudden these 4 missiles just kind of like fly past you, 2 on one side of you, 2 on the other side, and erupt into this wolf for an additional 17 damage. That's back to you, Corben.
Okay, I'm going to utter my vow of enmity and attack it with my sun sword.
Okay. So you have advantage against it.
Yes. Uh,
20 will hit for 18
then,
radiant.
Yep.
And that doesn't have like the extra undead damage turned on or anything, does it?
No, I turned it off, and I'm
Perfect.
going to I'm gonna use a smite.
Okay.
Just check that off. Without undead.
Correct.
Oh, minus that 2, so just an additional 8.
Okay, nice. You just did some massive damage to this thing. It looks pretty wounded. Anything else that you'd like to do?
Yeah, I have an extra attack,
All right.
so I'll hit him again.
Oh, yeah.
For 15.
Yeah, that'll hit. Nice.
I'm not going to use any more smites, though.
Okay. It's still standing but wobbling.
Oof.
And it bounces up against the wall a little bit as it reacts to the damage. Anything else, Corben?
No, that's it for me.
All right, Bjorn.
Swinging my great axe down, or sorry, not great axe. Can I
Battle.
re-roll? I was supposed to do the great sword, not the battle.
Yeah, go ahead.
You might have to move. Yeah.
Yes, that will hit. And you swing through it and you cleave it in half and it drops to the ground in front of you. And you hear Casimir say,
Yes.
"It looks like meat's back on the menu, boys."
I like what you did there. I was gonna go say something like that too.
That's the funniest thing we've heard him say. He seems to be warming up to us.
Yeah.
Literally warming up at this point.
Yep.
And that takes us out of initiative. And you have a dead wolf in front of you. You're unclear about what lays deeper inside of the canyon or of the cave. You do know that there was one additional dead wolf that was dragged away. What would you guys like to do at this point?
I'd like to kind of investigate further in now, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, there's those spirits, though, or whatever that was you saw.
Do you want to just wait? I mean, we could skin this guy and eat this wolf as we wait.
It's also the
Well,
middle of
we're
the night. You guys haven't completed your long rest was interrupted, so that's going to cause you to have to do, a whole additional attempt at a long rest. So just
I'd
FYI
like to.
on that.
Yeah, you guys want to just chill then?
We might need to.
I would like.
Engage.
Let's just stay put here then. Then also, I want to skin the wolf and make a wolf head cloak.
Okay.
Which is,
So
That's what I wanna do.
it'll take some time, but you can certainly give that a try. Casimir goes back to the fire to warm himself and says, "We need to rest. Whatever we decide to do,
Yep.
we do need to accomplish a rest here."
Yeah,
whoever was
I'm-
resting should go back to resting.
well, you guys could
Going-
stay up the whole time. I mean, I could stay up. I'm not hurt or nothing.
Very
Of
well.
all
Yeah, but you didn't. Well, okay. It's up to
So,
you. But
so Casimir is going to go. He's going to go back, and you don't have to be sleeping to get the benefits of a
Right.
rest. You just
Yeah,
can't be
okay.
engaged in activities that would, cause you to not get the rest. Bjorn, not really needing the full recharge of a full rest at this point. It sounds like you could totally work on the carcass. So, if you want to go ahead and roll a survival check, go ahead and do that. The rest of you, if you want to, you can do one of two things, I guess. Delve deeper without a rest, or get a rest first and then decide what you want to do. If you want to delve deeper, it sounds like Bjorn wants to.
well, I guess I was on watch, so I figured I'd just continue the watch that I was on. But
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
So that other people
Yeah.
can finish their rest.
Perfect.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to rest to gain my spell slots back. I mean, I did take a little damage, but not much. So, but my spells are more important at this point. So I'm gonna try to snooze.
Okay. So Casimir and Mara are back at the fire. Corben is keeping a watch. Bjorn is working on the wolf skin and
Yep.
probably hacking off meat and getting it cooking over the fire, I imagine.
Yep.
And I need one of you to roll. Whoever's feeling lucky, roll a d20.
I'm feeling pretty lucky, guys.
All right, go for it. Ah!
Nice.
3 is good.
Nice.
That's what I wanted. So I don't know why you guys laughing.
All right. So you guys have defended yourselves from a late night attack from these wolves who you interrupted in their slumber, and you have resigned yourself to continue your rest to try to gain the benefits of a long rest. Some of you having expended resources and been injured in the battle or in the travels through this raging blizzard, which continues outside this cave. You can feel the cold in the wind, Mara and Casimir, coming in from the cave entrance, but you warm yourself along the fire. The smell of meat is now starting to fill the chamber, and whatever lies deeper within the canyon and within this cavern system will have to wait until we get together next time, because we're going to end here for the night, guys. And nice job. Very
Yeah.
nice job.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Dooby-dooby-doo. Wow.
It'll be interesting to see if you guys decide to go deeper into the depths of this cave system.
Might be worth a look.
You did
I'm
find
kinda
shelter,
thinking
which was
it
nice.
is now. I didn't want it at first because you guys just used some serious spell power on the guys, and it could be a total total trap. So I was like, ooh, we should wait a little bit.
A trap? Come on. You
Yeah.
think I would do that? You think I would do that to you?
Yes.
Yeah, all right. Well,
2 winter wolves.
Yep. You didn't fall for it, so.
Yep.
Well, you kind of did, I guess. Bjorn kind of did fall for it once the moaning
Some
began.
of us have some sense.
I had it was like an itch to pick. I had to see what was down the rest of what was down the rabbit hole.
Yep. Yep. Well, we'll have to wait until next time to figure that out. So Nice job, guys. That was fun. I'm glad you survived that part of the travel.
Yeah, it's blizzard season.
And an avalanche, too. That could have gone horribly wrong.
Avalanche! Avalanche!
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah, that could have gone really, really bad. So, well, I guess we'll say goodbye to anybody who's watching the stream on YouTube. Thanks, guys, for watching. We appreciate it. Hope you enjoyed it. We sure had fun doing it. So, there you go. Until next time, we're the Spear Adventures Guild. Cheers.